The government has a plan to change the way victims are treated in the justice system, giving them more rights and support.
The bill, to be introduced before the election, will focus on changes in sexual violence against children, litigation abuse and family proceedings, and more changes around name suppression. Ashley Yates has more.
On the other end of this phone is a person who is experiencing dark days, someone who has been the victim of a crime, trauma, abuse. And now the government wants the victim's interface with the justice system to be more supportive.
Victims have the right to feel safe and supported as they go through the justice process. And we know that all too many times that simply is not the case.
Proposing a range of changes for a more victim-centric approach.
This is a very good day for victim survivors of sexual violence, of all forms of violence across the country.
The new legislation includes greater control to sexual assault victims around name suppression, more powers to stop abusive use of court applications in family-related proceedings, and refining the penalty for sexual connection with a child, reducing the risk of children being questioned about their consent.
We don't think it's right that children should be interrogated on the stand as to whether they gave consent.
3 pilot trials will also be run that will see strengthened support for child victims of sexual abuse. But all these reforms still have a way to go. The bill will be introduced to Parliament before October.
My message would be get in behind this. When we hit select committee time, everybody needs to send in their submissions so that we really craft these laws to protect and to transform the current system that is dysfunctional.
Alongside law changes, victim support will receive additional funding to the tune of $3 million, which will go towards staffing and resources.
We need so many more staff and volunteers, and we've talked today about at least 20 frontline staff and also support staff as well. We need to bring on board many more volunteers, but the reality is, because of the victims that we're supporting and how that keeps growing, we will need more even after that as well.
To ensure if you are ever a victim, you have support like this and a listening ear to guide you through.
Well, Ashley's with us now. Kia ora, Ashley. The government also had an announcement about another kind of victim, retailers who have been targeted by ram raiders.
Yes, that's right, Mike. The government's topped up the Retail Crime Prevention Fund by another $9 million. That takes the total sum of that fund to $15 million. The fund was set up in response to the spike in ram raids and other retail crime that we saw across the country last year. Retailers can access this fund to install things like fog cannons and bollards. The government also updated some of the figures today. They say so far a total of 501 stores that have been a victim of a ram raid or an aggravated robbery have had their quotes approved.
Ashley, tēnā koe.